Hi everyone, Mark Leslie here. So I just want to do a video, my thoughts. So one of the things that I realized on my spiritual growth is like when I was doing it is, I've done videos about this before, but I think it's really essential that we talk about it. Is a lot of times when you're dealing with spirituality, we're always looking for validation. So a lot of times people do things for validation, and that's really interesting because a lot of times, and it's okay. And the reason why we do that is because that's how we were raised. That's what society tells us, is we're usually a herd, and the herd usually follows what everyone else does. So what happens is we are trained to look at everyone else, and then based on everyone else, assess ourselves. So in reality, it's kind of like we are assessing ourselves from outside of our bodies. So instead of being embodied, when I'm talking about being embodied or being sovereign, it's being like embodied in your body, like in your soul. Because it seems like right now what happens is everyone is kind of like not in their body. So they're kind of like leaving their body, and they're looking at the interactions between two people. Here, I'll show you guys what I mean. So it's kind of like if you had two people, right? So here's like one person, okay? And then here's another person here. They kind of have big heads. I'm sorry, guys. So there's two people, right? And then usually if you're going to be in your head, you're going to be centered here. Like that's the center of your consciousness, right? Your third eye. But a lot of times people are kind of like this. They're kind of like hovering. And that's kind of like how they are. They're kind of like, so like, let's just say this person here, he's not in the center of his head. He kind of like, he leaves his body, and he basically analyzes this person to analyze how this person feels about this person. And then based on this person's data, then he would develop his personality based on this person. So in essence, his gaze is not on himself. His gaze is basically looking at this person, which is looking for the validation or signals from this person to determine how he should be as a person here. So in a way, it's kind of like, I've said this before, it's kind of like outsourcing your gaze, where you're not being yourself. You're basically your personality or who you are as a person. Even in society and politics and spirituality in general is based on other people. So a lot of times people are not true to themselves. They're just doing what other people want, and they're basically they go outside their bodies. They put feelers on other people, analyze what other people like, and they become kind of like fragmented pieces based on other people. And that's really dangerous, because what happens is it makes people feel like they have to perform. So instead of just being your true authentic self, and that's why you hear a lot of spiritual people talk about being your authentic self. So being your authentic self is not truly just genuinely authentically being your sovereign self. And being embodied means not being a ghost. Like being embodied means going back into your body, going back into your temple, and then also just not being a performer. So being a performer is like putting fillers out on everyone else, analyzing what's acceptable, and changing your personality or your perception just to fit in. So what I think the best thing to do is be honest with yourself, and just be yourself. like it's crazy. Like, be your authentic self. Like, I think we're trying to be like everyone else, but if we are in the underworld, you shouldn't want to be like anyone else. Like, let's just say hypothetically, let's just say we are in like the underworld, or we are in hell. Then why would you want to be like everyone else? You should want to be different, right? If that's the case. So I guess that's like my point, is realize that sometimes we are a manufactured personality based on everyone else, instead of being authentic to ourselves. So that's what being authentic to yourself is. Because if you're always analyzing other people, you can have anxiety, because you are not really being true to yourself. You're being a reflection of other people's expectations, instead of being authentically who you are as an individual. So being embodiment, being sovereignty, is being in your body, being true to yourself, and just expressing that beautiful person that you are inside. And that's my video. Hope you like it. Peace.